Evan walked alone through the deep alien forest, his boots sinking into soft blue soil. The trees were tall, glowing, and strange, their branches moving like slow animals. He was only trying to find a safe place to rest for the night. But he did not know that this forest belonged to a powerful alien warrior clan, famous for their strict laws and deadly pride. The wind was quiet, but Evan felt something watching him. Every few steps he heard a branch crack behind him. He turned fast, but no one was there. His heartbeat became heavy. He had visited dangerous planets before, but this place felt different, like every shadow was alive. He took one more step, and suddenly, a loud scream echoed across the trees. Evan froze. The scream was sharp, full of pain. It sounded close. Before he could react, a figure jumped from the bushes and crashed to the ground right in front of him. It was an alien girl, young but fierce, with silver hair, glowing eyes, and black warrior armor broken across her body. She was bleeding from her shoulder, her breathing fast and weak. Evan knelt down. "Hey, easy. Easy," he whispered, raising his hands to show he meant no harm. The alien girl growled at him like an injured wolf. Her hand reached for her blade, but she could not lift it. She collapsed again, trembling. Evan slowly placed his backpack on the ground and opened it. He took out a small medical kit. "I'm not your enemy," he said softly. "I will help you." The girl stared at him, confused. No one outside her clan ever helped wounded warriors. Humans were strangers on this world. She tried to speak, but only a painful gasp came out. Evan carefully cleaned her shoulder wound. She flinched but didn't stop him. When he tied a bandage around her arm, she watched him with wide, shocked eyes, like she had never seen kindness from a human. "If you stay like this, you will die," Evan said. "Just stay still." Her breathing slowly became calmer. She tried to sit up, but her leg gave out. She fell forward again. Without thinking, Evan reached out and gently supported her head, so she wouldn't hit the ground. And then he lightly patted her head. It was a simple gesture for him. But for her, it was something else entirely. Her eyes became huge. Her face turned pink, a mix of anger, embarrassment, and something deeper he could not understand. She opened her mouth to speak, but the forest exploded with noise. Branches snapped, trees shook. Heavy footsteps landed all around them. Evan stood up fast and stepped in front of the injured girl. His heart pounded. From the glowing trees, dozens of alien warriors dropped to the ground, surrounding them in a full circle. They were tall, armored, and dangerous, carrying long crystal spears and sharp curved blades. Their eyes all burned with the same fire. Evan's breath caught in his throat. He had walked into a warrior clan's territory. The girl behind him whispered with fear, "No, not now." The warriors shouted one word that echoed everywhere, "CHIEF." Evan looked back at the injured girl in shock. "Chief?" She was their leader? But before he could understand anything, the entire clan's attention went to him. And his hand that was still touching her head. The moment they saw it, every single warrior froze. Spears dropped from hands. Blades hit the ground. Gasps spread like fire through the forest. The leader of the warrior clan, a massive alien with bone-like horns and glowing tattoos, stepped forward. His face twisted in shock and disbelief. The human touched the chief's head. He whispered. The girl covered her face in shame and panic. The clan dropped to their knees. Slowly, instantly. Weapons fell like rain. Their eyes stayed locked on Evan. He didn't understand what was happening. He only helped an injured girl. He only patted her head to comfort her. But in their culture, touching the chief's head was a sacred act, a gesture only allowed to a life partner or the highest protector of the chief. The young warrior girl trembled. Her voice broke as she whispered, He has taken my place. According to our law, I am no longer their chief." Evan's eyes widened. He had no idea. But with one small, gentle pat, he had changed everything. The forest stayed silent after the warriors dropped their weapons. No one moved. No one even breathed loudly. It was as if the whole world had frozen in one moment of disbelief. Evan stood in the middle of the circle, confused, his hand still lightly touching the warrior girl's head. He slowly pulled his hand back, but the clan gasped again, as if even that movement was a sacred ritual. Evan looked at the girl. She avoided. His eyes, her face burning with shame and fear. The massive horned warrior, clearly the second in command, stepped forward. His armor glowed with clan symbols. His voice was deep, cold, and trembling. Human, do you understand what you have done? Evan swallowed. I helped her. She was hurt. That's all. The warriors murmured in shock. Helped her? Touched her head? Stood beside her like an equal? To them, each action was unthinkable. The horned warrior's eyes narrowed. You touched the chief's head, the most sacred part of our kind. Only a bonded protector or chosen partner may do that. His voice rose, and she allowed it. The girl, Rika, finally spoke. Her voice was weak but steady. I did not allow. I was injured. I could not stop him, the clan murmured again. Some looked relieved. Some looked angry. Some looked confused, as if they didn't know what the law demanded now. Evan raised both hands. Look, I didn't mean anything. She needed help. I didn't. Know your rules. But the horned warrior shook his head. In our law, meaning does not matter. Action matters. Evan's stomach tightened. He had walked straight into a cultural trap he couldn't understand. The warriors formed a tighter circle. The tension thickened. A young warrior stepped forward and hissed, "If he breaks our law, we must seize him." Another warrior growled, "No, the human saved her life. That must count for something." A third shouted, "She is no longer chief because she submitted." "We must choose a new leader." Rika stiffened at those words. She tried to stand, but pain shot through her leg. She looked small and vulnerable, now so different from the fierce leader she had been minutes ago. Evan stepped closer to her, worried she might fall. The clan gasped again. A few warriors raised weapons halfway, then lowered them, unsure. Every movement felt like walking on thin ice. Rika whispered to Evan, "Do not touch me again. Please, it makes everything worse." He nodded quietly and stepped back. The horned warrior turned to the clan. "According to law, Rika is no longer chief. She allowed a foreigner, no, a human, to perform the sacred touch. She cannot lead us anymore." Rika closed her eyes. Her hands shook. Evan felt a sharp pain in his chest watching her. She didn't look angry. She looked broken. But the horned warrior continued, voice booming. "The human who touched her takes a role in our fate. The law says he must either be honored or punished." The clan erupted again. "Honor a human? Never. He saved her. He ruined our chief. He is brave. He is dangerous." The forest became a storm of voices. Rika finally opened her eyes and spoke, louder this time. "If anyone should be punished, it is me. I failed in battle. I failed to protect the clan. I did not see the enemies in the forest. I fell. The human only helped." Her voice cracked, but she continued, "Blame me, not him." Evan stepped forward. No, she was hurt. That's why she couldn't stop me. If anyone made a mistake, it was me. So whatever this law demands, talk to me, not her. The clan froze. For the third time, a human taking responsibility? That was new. That was unheard of. The horned warrior studied Evan with sharp eyes. "You do not act like the others of your kind. Humans run from danger. They hide. They lie." Evan held his ground. "Not all humans." The warrior stared at him for a long moment. Then he turned to the clan. "We cannot decide here. We must call the Council of Elders." A ripple of shock. passed through the warriors. The elders? For this human? This is serious, the law. The law must be followed. Reka looked terrified. Evan looked confused. And the clan looked ready for war or peace. No. One knew yet. The horned warrior pointed his spear toward the sky. At dawn, the elders will meet. They will decide the human's fate, and the fate of our fallen chief. Evan felt the weight of 100 alien eyes on him. His journey had started as a simple walk through a forest. Now he stood in the center of a powerful clan's judgment. Because of one gentle head pat. And dawn was coming. Fast. The night settled over the forest like a dark blanket. Strange glowing insects drifted through the air, lighting the paths between the towering trees. Evan sat beside a small campfire inside the clan's territory, guarded by 4 warriors who watched him without blinking. Their sharp eyes followed every breath he took. He wasn't tied or locked, but he could not leave. He was waiting for dawn, waiting for the council of elders who would decide his fate. Across the fire, Reka sat on a stone, her injuries wrapped tightly in bandages. She looked quiet, almost too quiet for someone who had once been a fierce warrior chief. Her silver hair fell over her face, hiding her expression. Evan finally broke the silence. Are you okay? She didn't look at him. My clan does not heal easily. My body will recover. My honor, maybe not. Evan felt a knot in his chest. I didn't know touching your head was such a big deal. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Reka let out a dry laugh. In my world, meaning does not erase action. The law is older than any of us. She lifted her head slightly. The firelight showed the sadness in her eyes. Do you know why the clan froze when you touched me? She asked softly. Evan shook his head. No, you told me only protectors or partners can do it. But what does it mean? She looked down at the ground. It means I submitted. It means I accepted you. It means you had power over me in that moment. A chief never bows, never bends, never lowers their head. But when I fell, I could not stop you. Her voice trembled, and the clan saw it. Evan felt his stomach drop. So, they think I replaced you? She nodded slowly. According to tradition, yes, you became something like a high guardian. A role only someone of great strength or great honor can take. She looked at him with tired eyes. But you are human, a stranger, someone they do not understand. Evan rubbed his forehead. This is insane. I just wanted to help you. Reka turned away. Sometimes help causes the deepest wounds. The guards shifted at her words as if they agreed. But their faces stayed cold and unreadable. Evan leaned closer to the fire. What will the elders do? Reka hesitated then. Decided he deserved the truth. They have 3 options, she said quietly. 1. Punish you for touching the chief without permission. 2. Honor you and accept that you are now linked to me. And 3. She swallowed hard. They might choose to exile me forever for allowing the touch. Evan felt the ground disappear beneath him. Exile? That's too much. You were injured. Anyone would have fallen. Reka shook her head. A chief cannot fall. Weakness is shame. He clenched his fists. This isn't fair. She gave him a sad smile. Fairness is a human idea. Here, only honor matters. The wind blew softly, carrying the sound of distant drums. More clans were gathering for dawn. Evan could feel the tension growing like a storm. He looked at Reka again. There must be something we can do. For a long moment, Reka said, nothing. Then slowly she lifted her gaze and looked directly into his eyes. There is something, she whispered, but I hoped I would never need to tell anyone. Evan leaned in. What is it? She took a deep breath. I was not chosen to be chief because of strength alone, she said. I was chosen because of a bond. A sacred bond I was supposed to form with a guardian. A protector. The gesture you made, the head touch, symbolizes the acceptance of that bond. Evan stared at her in disbelief. So, you were supposed to choose someone. And you, replaced them, she finished softly, by mistake. Evan felt his heart stop. What happened to the one you were supposed to choose? Reika's expression darkened. He died. In battle, many seasons ago. I was supposed to perform the sacred touch with him. But after he died, I never chose another. I stayed alone. The clan accepted my decision, until now. A painful silence followed. Evan understood everything. Now her shame, her fear, her silence. He had stepped into a place in her life that belonged to someone else, a place she had closed long ago. Reika looked away. If the elders rule against me, I will be replaced tomorrow. Everything I fought for will vanish. Evan stood up suddenly. Then I'll speak for you. I'll tell them the truth. Reika's eyes widened. No human has ever stood before the elders. They will not listen. Evan shook his head firmly. Then, they'll listen for the first time. The guards exchanged worried looks. Reika stared at Evan, seeing something unexpected, courage that didn't come from strength, but from heart. You are strange human, she whispered. Strange. But maybe exactly what our clan needs. The drums grew louder in the distance. That dawn was coming. And so was judgment. The first light of dawn touched the forest, spreading long shadows across the ground. The drums grew louder as more warriors gathered near the clearing where Evan and Reika waited. But before the elders could even arrive, an unexpected rumble echoed through the valley. Heavy footsteps, metal armor clashing, and deep war horns that shook the air. Reika stiffened instantly. That sound. It is not my clan, she whispered. The guards around Evan suddenly stepped into formation, shields rising. A warrior ran forward breathlessly. Rival clan approaching. They carried challenge banners. Evan frowned. Challenge? For what? Reika. Face darkened. For leadership, for territory, for honor. And maybe for you. Before Evan could ask more, the trees split apart like doors. A huge group of alien warriors marched out, bigger, stronger, and covered in black and red armor. Their weapons sparked with energy. They looked hungry for war. At their front walked a tall alien woman with glowing orange eyes and burning tattoos across her face. She carried a double-bladed spear, and each step she took left cracks in the soil. Reeva whispered, Tiravak, leader of the Bloodhorn clan. Even Evan felt her power from a distance. She stopped only a few feet away from Rika's warriors and smirked. So, Tiravak said loudly, her voice echoing through the valley, I heard the mighty Reika is no longer chief. Gasps rippled through Rika's clan. Evan saw Rika's jaw tighten, though she stayed silent. Tir a single quotes VOK raised her spear. And the reason is a human? Her warriors burst into cruel laughter. Evan stepped closer without thinking. He didn't like the way they mocked Reika. He didn't like the way they looked at him like prey. Reika noticed and quickly whispered, Do not move. They want you to react. But Evan couldn't stand still when he saw the pain in Rika's eyes. Tiravak continued, voice sharp, If a human can break your sacred rules, you do not deserve to lead anything. Hand over your territory, Reika. Your clan needs someone strong. Reika forced herself to stand, despite her injuries. I will not hand you anything. Tiravak smirked. Then I challenge your claim by law. The valley roared with shock. A challenge meant a fight, usually to death. Reika's clan shouted protests. She is injured. This is unfair. The elders have not judged yet. Tiravak ignored them. I challenge Reika, or the human who replaced her. Silence fell like a hammer. Dozens of shocked eyes turned toward Evan. Evan blinked. Me? I'm not a warrior. Tiravak laughed. Your touch made you Reika's equal. Or higher, if you took her place. You Must defend it. Evan stepped back. I didn't take anything. I was trying to help. But warriors from both clans murmured, the law chooses not intentions. Is he protector or not? We must see his strength. Reka limped forward, fury burning in her eyes. He is not part of our laws. He is not fighting you. Tiravok twirled her spear. Then you fight. But you are weak, injured. Her cruel smile deepened. You will lose. Evan felt a fire rise inside him. He stepped between Reka and Tiravok. No, he said calmly. She will not fight while hurt. The clans gasped. Reka grabbed his arm in panic. Evan, stop. This is not your world. He looked at her. But you were willing to take punishment for something I did. I'm not letting you face this alone. For a moment, Reka just stared at him, shocked, angry, and moved all at once. Tiravok planted her spear in the ground. Then the human accepts the challenge? Evan exhaled, fear gripping him, but he nodded. I accept. Reka. Clans shouted in disbelief. Her guards rushed forward. Human, you cannot fight her. She's a champion. She will tear you apart. You cannot win. Tiravok grinned with sharp teeth. Prepare yourself, little outsider. When I am done, your bones will feed the forest. Evan didn't respond. He looked at Reka instead. I won't let her take your place, he said softly. Reka shook her head, trembling. You don't understand. She isn't only stronger than you. She is stronger than almost everyone. If you lose, they will use your defeat as proof that humans are weak. My clan will lose honor forever. Evan swallowed hard. So if I win, Reka whispered, then you will not only save me, you will protect the entire clan. The rival clan banged their weapons on the ground in rhythm. Waiting for blood. Ti single quotes VOK pointed her spear at Evan. When the sun reaches the top of the trees, we fight. Evan felt sweat run down his neck. He had until midday, just a few hours. To prepare for a battle he had almost no chance of winning. The sun climbed higher, glowing through the alien trees like a burning eye watching everything below. The rival clan formed a wide circle in the valley. Their weapons pointed toward the center. Reka's clan did the same, though their faces were full of fear instead of excitement. Evan stood between both clans, trying to steady his breathing. His hands trembled, not from cowardice but from the weight of what was coming. He had never fought an alien champion before, definitely not someone like Tira. VOK. She stood on the opposite side of the circle, tall and terrifying, her double-bladed spear humming with energy. Her armor was scratched from old battles, each line a story of victory. She smiled as if she had already won. Reka limped up beside Evan. You still have time to back away, she whispered urgently. No one will call you dishonorable. This is not your world. This is not your fight. Evan shook his head. It became my fight the moment I touched your head and changed your life. Reka pressed her lips together. Her eyes softened. You are brave, Evan. But bravery alone does not stop a spear. He gave a weak laugh. I noticed. Before they could speak more, the horn of the rival clan echoed loudly. Tiravok stepped forward, raising her weapon. Human, she shouted. Let this be quick. I do not enjoy killing weak creatures. Evan did not reply. He looked at her, then at Reka, then at the clearing around him. This wasn't just a fight. This was the future of an entire clan. A rival warrior tossed a short blade toward Evan. Humans like metal, yes? Use it, or die empty-handed. Evan picked it up. It felt heavy and unfamiliar. He wasn't trained for alien weapons, but he needed something. The horn sounded again, this time signaling the start. Tiravok charged. Her speed was shocking. Evan barely jumped aside before her spear sliced the air where he'd been standing. The ground cracked from the force. Reka gasped. Thevan! He rolled to the side, landing hard. Pain shot up his arm, but he pushed himself up quickly. Tiravok spun her spear and attacked again. Evan blocked her strike with the small blade, but the impact threw him backward. The rival clan cheered. "Crush him, Tiravak!" Leaned they. "Outsider, show their weakness." But Evan didn't stay down. He got back on his feet, chest heaving. Tiravak tilted her head. "You are slower than I thought, but you stand up again." "Why?" "Because I'm not fighting for myself," Evan said breathlessly. "I'm fighting for her." He pointed at Rika. A murmur spread through both clans. Some warriors looked moved, others looked irritated. But everyone watched closely now. Tiravak lunged again. Evan dodged as best as he could. He wasn't faster, but he was thinking. Every movement, every step, every angle. He watched how she swung her spear. He noticed she always stepped heavily on her left foot when she attacked. He waited. Tiravak leaped forward for a powerful strike, expecting him to move the same way again. But this time, Evan pivoted and kicked at her left leg. She stumbled slightly, losing balance for just a moment. It was small, but it was something. The rival clan booed. Reka's clan gasped. Evan tightened his grip. Tiravak recovered fast. Eyes burning with fury now. "You dare touch a champion's leg?" She came at him again with terrifying force. Evan raised the blade, but the impact shattered it. Metal pieces flew everywhere. The broken handle remained in his hand. He was weaponless. Tiravak smirked. "It ends now." She lifted her spear to strike the final blow. Evan closed his eyes, expecting the attack, but the strike never landed. When he opened his eyes, Tiravak's spear was hovering inches from his neck, held back by her own hesitation. Not hesitation from fear, but confusion, because Evan wasn't standing like a warrior ready to fight. He stood calmly, hands open, chest exposed. Reka shouted, "Evan, move!" But he didn't move. He looked straight into Tiravak's eyes and said softly, "If killing me restores your honor, then do it. But your fight is not with me. Your fight is with your anger." The valley went silent. Even Tiravak blinked, confused. "What trick is this?" "No trick," Evan said. "I am human. Humans don't win by being stronger. We win by caring, by protecting." Tiravak stared at him for a long moment, then slowly lowered her weapon. The rival clan gasped out. Her elders shouted angrily, but she ignored them. She stepped back. "You confuse me, human. And I dislike confusion." Evan released a shaky breath. "So, does that mean the fight is over?" Tiravak pointed her spear at the ground. "I will not shame myself by killing someone who fights with heart instead of ego." Then she turned toward the clans. "This challenge is incomplete. I withdraw for now." Both clans erupted in shock. Reka ran forward, grabbing Evan's arm. "Why did you stand still? You could have died." Evan smiled weakly. "But I didn't." She looked at him with a mix of anger and something gentler. For the first time, the clan saw something new, not strength, not power, but a human strange, stubborn courage. And everything was about to change because of it. The moment Tiravak lowered her spear, the valley broke into chaos. Warriors shouted, elders whispered, and both clans stared at Evan as if he had done something no one in their world had ever seen. Reka held onto Evan's arm as if afraid he might collapse. "You should sit," she said softly. Evan took a shaky breath and nodded. His legs felt weak from the intense fight, his body trembling not from pain, but from the pressure of what could have happened. Reka guided him to a flat stone near the center of the clearing. Before he could rest, a long horn echoed through the forest. Boom. Silence fell instantly. "Ray." Ka's eyes widened. "The elders have arrived." Evan looked around nervously. "Are they angry?" Reka whispered. "They are never angry. They are worse. They are strict." Out of the shadows of the forest, 4 ancient alien figures walked forward. They wore long dark robes with glowing patterns, and their eyes were silver like Rekka's, but colder, older, and wiser. Every warrior from both clans immediately knelt. Evan stood automatically, unsure what to do. Rekka whispered sharply, "Kneel, now." He quickly dropped to one knee beside her. The elders stepped into the center of the valley. Their leader, an old alien with 2 long crystal horns, raised a hand. "Rise." Everyone stood, though Evan rose a heartbeat late. The elders noticed, but said nothing. The leader's voice rang across the valley. "We have heard of the chaos. We have heard of the human, and we have seen the broken law." Rekka lowered her head in shame. The elder continued, "The sacred head touch is the union sign, a bond sign, a protector sign, and a leader sign." The crowd murmured. Evan's stomach tightened. He really had caused a storm with one small gesture. The elder turned his gaze sharply to Evan. "Human, step forward." Evan swallowed and walked into the center. He could feel hundreds of eyes on his back. The elder spoke again. "You touched the chief's head. You gave a sacred gesture without understanding. But he pointed at Rekka, allowed it, even if weak from battle." Rekka winced. Another elder stepped forward, her voice like cold wind. "Law says one touch can change fate, but law also allows a path of correction." Evan felt a spark of hope. A path? What kind of path? All 4 elders slowly lifted their hands. The ceremony of choosing. A wave of whispers spread through the clans. Rekka gasped, "No, not that. Elders, please, he is human. He does not understand our ways." But the elders ignored her. The leader explained, "The ceremony of choosing decides the truth of the bond. It tests 3 things, mind, courage, and honor. If the human passes, the bond is accepted by the clan. Rekka is restored, and the human becomes her protected guardian." Evan blinked. "Her what?" Rekka's face turned bright red. "It is symbolic." She hissed, "It means we stand together, not like that." Evan nodded quickly. "Oh." The elders continued, "If he fails, the bond breaks. Rekka loses her title forever." Evan's heart sank. "That means, if I fail, she is punished?" The elders' cold eyes locked on him. "Yes." Rekka stepped forward, her voice loud and clear. "Elders, I request another path. Judge me alone. Do not involve a human who knew nothing." But the elders shook their heads. "The law binds both of you now. There is no separate judgment." Evan looked at Rekka. Her face showed fear, not for herself, but for him. He took a deep breath. "Okay," he said quietly. "I'll do it." Rekka spun toward him. "Evan, no. The ceremony is dangerous. It is not a normal test. Many warriors fail. Humans have never tried it." Evan gave her a small smile. "Then I'll be the first." Her eyes softened, pain and admiration mixing. "You don't understand what you promise." He stepped closer. "I promised I would help you. And I will." The elders spread their arms, creating a circle of shimmering light. "The ceremony begins now." The valley darkened. Wind howled. The ground glowed with ancient symbols. 3 glowing paths appeared in front of Evan. Mind, courage, honor. He stepped toward the first path. Rekka whispered, voice trembling, "Evan, please come back alive." He turned his head, giving her a calm smile. "I'll try." The elders raised their hands. The ceremony swallowed Evan in blinding light, and the whole clan waited to see if a human could survive the impossible. The world around Evan dissolved into blinding white light. When it faded, he found himself standing in a strange empty space that stretched endlessly in every direction. No trees, no sky, no ground. It felt like floating inside a dream. A deep voice echoed through the space. "First trial, mind." Suddenly the world around him changed. Evan stood in a forest again, but this one looked twisted and darker. Shapes moved behind trees. Whispering voices surrounded him. Then he saw Rika lying on the ground, wounded, calling for help. Evan ran toward her, but she vanished like smoke. Behind him, another Rika appeared, also calling his name, then another, then 5 more. They all looked real, all sounded real. Help me. Evan, please. Don't leave me. Evan froze. This was a trick illusion meant to break his focus. He closed his eyes, took a slow breath, and whispered, "These aren't real." When he opened his eyes, the copies faded. Only silence remained. A warm light shined above him, and the voice spoke again. Mind trial passed. The space trembled. The ground beneath him cracked into pieces like glass. Evan fell straight into darkness. Then he stood on a stone platform high above an endless void. The voice roared, "Second trial, courage." A monstrous figure rose from the shadows, tall as a mountain, with glowing blue eyes, sharp claws, and a roar that shook the air. It charged at Evan like a storm. Evan had no weapon, no shield, no armor, but he remembered Rika's words. Bravery alone does not stop a spear, maybe. But courage wasn't about weapons. It was about heart. He stepped forward, not backward. Then he shouted at the monster, "I'm not afraid of you." The beast lunged its claws inches away, but Evan didn't run. He stood solid like a stone. And right before the monster touched him, it shattered into light. The voice echoed again. Courage trial passed. Evan collapsed to his knees, trembling. His heart hammered in his chest, but he was still alive. The world shifted again. Now he was standing on soft grass under a calm sky. The valley, the clans, Rika, all of them appeared as holograms in front of him. Then the voice spoke. Final trial, honor. Rika's hologram stepped forward. She looked tired, sad, lost. "You brought shame to me," her hologram said. "You ruined my role. My clan suffers. Now you must fix it. If you leave this place and never return, I will take the blame alone." Evan blinked. "That's not what she would say," the hologram continued. "Walk away. Leave us forever. That is the right choice. My clan will recover. You will go free." Evan shook his head. "No, Rika would never ask me to abandon her." The hologram changed shape, becoming the elders. "Leave," they commanded. "Save yourself." Evan clenched his fists. "Honor isn't leaving," he whispered. "It's staying. No matter how hard." The illusions faded. The voice thundered. Honor trial passed. A bright light enveloped him. When it faded, Evan stood again in the real valley, surrounded by both clans. He stumbled forward, dizzy and weak. Rika ran to him immediately, catching him before he fell. "Evan," she cried. "You survived." "You survived," he smiled tiredly. "Barely." The elders stepped forward. Their eyes glowed. "The human has passed all 3 trials," the leader declared. "He has shown mind, courage, and honor. The ceremony of choosing is complete." Both clans erupted in shocked whispers. The elder raised his hand. "Rika's honor is restored. She is chief again." Rika's legs nearly gave out. Tears filled her eyes. "And the human," the elder continued, "is now the honored protector equal to the chief." A deep silence followed. Then Rika looked at Evan, not with fear, not with shame, but with pride. "You changed everything," she whispered. "You changed me." Before Evan could answer, members of both clans began kneeling, not because of the head pat, not because of tradition. Not because they feared him. They kneeled because the human had passed the impossible. Teravok, the rival champion, stepped forward. She dropped her spear in respect and bowed her head. "You fought with no weapon," she said. "You faced death with open hands. I misjudged you, human. Your courage humbles even warriors like me." Evan blinked. "So, we're not fighting anymore?" Teravok smirked. Not today. Reika stepped closer, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder. You walked into our world alone, she whispered, but you will never be alone again. Evan smiled softly. I guess I'm stuck with all of you now. Reika laughed, a warm sound no one had ever heard from her before. The valley glowed with new light. 2 clans united, a fallen chief restored, a human protector honored. And in that moment, Evan realized something powerful. Sometimes the strongest warrior is the one who fights with heart, not with a blade.